please.
Thank you for the introduction. Um, I think we can start the session directly. Let me share the screen. Just give me a minute. Yes. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Please interrupt when there is any discomfort in hearing me, or if you want to discuss anything. You can stop me at any time.
Sure, sir.
Yeah. So first of all, I would like to thank the organizing committee, members of Department of Food Technology, Mahindra Engineering College, for organizing a wonderful topic for today's talk. So in today's webinar, we are going to discuss about the startup and the potential of Indian food processing industry and opportunities it provides for the food technologist. And I just want to give you a small introduction from where I belong. I belong to National Institute of Technology, Rourkela, which is one of the reputed institute for, or you can say it's a premier institute for engineering studies. It is one of the top NITs in our country, and according to NIF ranking 2022, we stand in 39th position in overall rank, as well as 15th in engineering rank, as well as considering the research NIF ranking, we are standing in the 24th position. So we have a separate food process engineering department in Institute of Technology, National Institute of Technology, Rourkela, and we have BTech food process engineering, and well as MTech and PhD courses in our department. So this is a small introduction from where I belong to, and this is the content for our today's webinar. So please, I expect the students to have a clear observation of whatever topics we are discussing. Maybe at the end, if you have any doubt, or if you want to interact with me regarding this contents which we are discussing, you can open for discussion at any time. Now, so I have framed the presentation in such a way that it covers the information that is needed for food technologists, undergraduate food technology students. So first, I want to give a brief introduction about the current scenario of Indian food processing sector, and then followed by we are going to discuss the opportunities for food technologists. What are the various opportunities available in our country for food technologists, and entrepreneurship opportunities, and some aspects about startup. What is startup? What are the different phases of startup? What are the skills needed for starting a new industry in a threshold area? And then we are going to discuss about support rendered by Indian government for new startups, right? And then finally, I'm going to end the presentation with some by providing some information about job opportunities as well as higher studies opportunities for food technologists. So this is how I have framed the presentation today. I think hope it will be very much useful for the BTech students, right? So as I said, the importance of food processing industry in India. As you all know, it is one of the largest industry in terms of production, consumption, export, as well as the growth prospects. So it's growing. It's constantly growing every year. Even during the pandemic or even during the lockdowns, the only one industry which thrives more is food industries. Mostly, you can say processing food industries, and because of this, no, it is widely recognized as a sunshine industry. It grows every year. We can expect growth in this food processing industry each and every year, and almost 270 billion USD is the net worth of Indian food market, and then it employs nearly 13 million people directly and 35 million people indirectly in 2020. Even though it was under lockdown, or even though it was under a pandemic situation, it offers a job for a huge population in our country. And the food and grocery markets, Indian food grocery market stands sixth largest in the world, and it retail contributes 70% of the total sales of food product. Right, so it is projected to grow at the rate of 104%, and it is expected to touch 482 million by 2022. Right, so this is the data given by IBEF. Given the link for IBBF. If someone wants, you can have a look at this website where there are a lot of information, or there are a lot of recent data available regarding the food production and food consumption and food processing sector. And then now comes to what are the advantage of food processing in India. So food processing itself, the food processing in India has a lot of advantage naturally, because in India we have different climatic condition. We are the largest producer of most of the vegetables, cereals, and animal products, and we have a huge manpower to run this organization or to run this industry. And we have a well-developed network. We have well-developed roads and facilities to reach different part of the country at any time. And there is a huge population, working population is there, and the percentage of household expenditures of food is increasing every day. So there is a need for processing food materials in day-to-day life. We can see the last 10 years before, the consumption of processed food materials was very less, but after this pandemic or during this pandemic, we have completely dependent on this processed food materials. Like for example, let it be a milk or let it be a meat. So initially we never thought of processed meat and we never thought of processed milk, but we are switching over to processed food materials slowly. The reason behind is most of the population are going for a work, or a smaller families, or these are some of the reasons behind switching over to the processed food materials. And another important thing is people are becoming more health conscious and more immune conscious. So they need nutritious food materials to increase their immunity and to do their day-to-day activity. So that is the reason the food processing market is growing day by day. And India offers largest diversified production base. So we can, maybe if you take other countries, there may be they are maybe first in fish processing or fish production, and then there won't be any cereal production, but there won't be any vegetable production. Or you can see milk production. Some countries stands first in the milk production. Their milk production is huge, but they will be less in vegetable production. But India, we have a holistic increase in the production, or we have a different source of food materials. Like it be a milk product, fruits and vegetables, cereals, pulses, or it may be an oil seed, or it may be a marine, or it may be a meat product. We stand almost first or second in all the agricultural production of all the agricultural producers. And as you say, first in milk production, almost 155 million tons produced in 2015 to 2016, and it is expected to increase 13 to 15% every year. That means by 2020 or 2022, the production will be more than 200 million tons. Like it offers huge opportunities for processing industries, or to start a new processing plant in related to milk and dairy. So there are a lot of dairy processing sectors coming up, but there are new startups in dairy, small scale startups in dairy ingredients manufacturing. Like it may be a butter, or it may be a curd, or it may be a milk, or it may be an ice cream. So there are so many opportunities in milk production. And the next sector is fruits and vegetable sector. It is the second largest sector. We are the second largest producer of fruits and vegetables. Almost 254 million tons produced every year. And another interesting thing is we are processing less than 2% of fruits and vegetables we are producing. So that means we have a large opportunities in case of processing fruits and vegetables. I will come to these slides later in the sector-wise opportunities in my later slides. I'm just giving an overall introduction about the potential of Indian food processing industry. And we are second in rice and wheat production, second in fish production, and third in meat and egg production, third in egg production, and fifth position in meat production. So these are some of the advantage of Indian food processing industries or Indian food processing sector. And I think we have almost covered, we have given a small introduction to all the food materials and what are the opportunities and significance of Indian food market. Now, as a food graduate, what are all the opportunities which is available for you once you graduate? Right. So I have just segregated the opportunities available in India for the food processing or food processing engineers or food technologists into four different categories. The first one is, which I emphasize more, is entrepreneurship opportunities. There are plenty of entrepreneurship opportunities. There are plenty of startup opportunities available for food technologists, especially food technologists. I will tell you why I'm telling this technology. I will just my statement in my following slides. And what are the, and then one is the first segment is entrepreneurship, and second segment is we have job opportunities in industries. It may be a agriculture related industry or core food industries. There are opportunities for food technologists in these industries, private sectors. And then we have central government and state government jobs. So I will tell you what are the state government jobs, what are the central government jobs where a food technologist can be hired, and then higher studies opportunities. So as this food technology course has a lot of higher study options in abroad and in India as well, I will let you know what are the opportunities available for higher studies in my following slides. Now, as I said, we are just going to discuss about this entrepreneurship opportunities. First, I will give you the information about entrepreneurship opportunities, and then some information about startup, and then we'll switch to jobs in private sector, government sector, as well as higher studies opportunities. I think everyone are following my presentation, right? Is there any difficulties? Can I get some feedback from anyone of you, anyone of the participants? Madam, am I audible clearly?
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Okay, so please let me know if there is any difficulties in following my voice. Okay, so now
Yes, sir.
thank you. So now we are entering into the important stage of the presentation, important things from the presentation. So entrepreneurship opportunities, that means our startup opportunities. Government of India has provided a lot of schemes like mega food parks and cold chain projects are some of the schemes which is introduced by the Ministry of Food Processing Industries to develop small scale food industries. So mega food parks is a concept where whoever starts a small business, they can have a space there, and all the common facilities for a food startup will be available. Like for example, an industry, a food industry, all the food industries need a softened water, or it need a steam source, or it need a common effluent treatment. So this mega food park will provide common facilities for the small scale food industries to be established. And then cold chain projects. So whatever the food processing industry you may target, it requires a cold chain, right? So developing infrastructures which is required for cold chain management these are the two initiatives which is taken by the Indian government in the last decade to increase the opportunities or to increase the small scale food processing industries in India. So from these two itself, we can understand that the Indian government is trying its level best to give more opportunities for youngsters to come into the startups and to develop a business which is related to food. And again, the role of institute like TNIU, NITs, or IIT, CFTRI, NIFTM, and other private agricultural institutes, they establish the course curriculum in such a way that the students will be able to start their own business or own business model once they graduates. So that is how the most of the curriculum is framed, and most of the colleges are emphasizing the students. And then government has introduced schemes in like creation of backward and forward link for existing food processing industries. Like if there is a meat production plant or if there is a meat processing plant, integrating forward means integrating further to make a value added product from the processed meat, or to export the value added products from the meat processing, and backward integration. So increasing the meat production, increasing the feed production. So in both the way, government is creating schemes in such a way that either forward linkage and backward linking of food processing is possible. So under the schemes, there are a lot of financial assistance provided for starting a primary processing centers, um, collection centers, modern retailing unit or outlets with connecting through a refrigerated transport and cold chain. So there are different schemes. I will come to those schemes in later slides. So now, as we discussed so far, we are sure that there is a huge opportunity for food processing industry to start as small scale food processing industry. So in addition to this, I just want to justify this statement with some informations. We have very high production of agriculture commodity, and we are one of the leader. We are one of the region in the whole world in agriculture product producing, and less than 2% of fruits and vegetables. We are number one in the production, and we can see we are producing. We are processing only 2% of what we are producing. And then in case of dairy sector, you can see dairy is a little bit way ahead. 35% of the milk which is produced in our country are processed. So you can see, even though there is a huge scope, even though 35% of India dairy, the milk produced in India is processed, still there is a scope for starting an industry in case of dairy sector, because almost 65% of milk which is produced in our countries are consumed without processing, right? So 33% of marine produce, either inland fishing or marine fishing, 23% of marine products are processed, and rest are retailed as such without any processing, or minimum processing like icing or just refrigerating. So this is the minimal processing done in this marine produce. And then 21% of meat which is produced in our country are processed. That is beef and this goat meat. Whereas poultry, only 6% of the poultry is processed. So India has only 1% of the total processed food produced in the whole world. So being one of the important country or important production hub for agricultural commodities, and we are processing only 1% of it. So which shows there is a huge opportunities left behind for us to start, right? So the big challenge for startup is to target the right area of the food industries. And if you are able to target a particular area or a particular domain where there is a more need for processed food, no, we can definitely succeed at. And these are some of the trust area where these agri entrepreneurships are focused more. Nowadays, this farm mechanization, like shifting to due to the reduction of land, shifting to this hydrophobic, hydrofarming, and then there are a lot of biotechnological tool and bioinformatics tools which helps the farmers to produce more, like the creation of or developing a new variety or developing a resistant variety. So these are some of the agri entrepreneurship available. And then now comes to our area, food technologists can target post-harvest processing and value addition of agriculture commodities. So agri-food processing, like even production of dried food materials or production of value-added product from any agriculture produce, like converting this tomato into a value-added product like tomato sauce or tomato ketchup or dried tomatoes is also a business. So there are a lot of opportunities in such post-harvest handling and value addition. And then retail farming. So retailing, and in the retailing of agricultural commodity is becoming a huge interest for bigger entrepreneurs, or we can say bigger players. like Reliance and Reliance Group, or it may be an Adani Group. They are already into this retail sector. So initially, or 10 years before, there is no big players in case of retailing of agricultural commodities. Only it is dominated by the farmers or farmers allied farming community. But nowadays, bigger players are coming into this retailing sector, which means that there are so much of opportunities flooded in case of retailing of agricultural commodities. No one have imagined how far this retail industry is growing in these recent days. So there are huge, and we can say huge investments are coming up, and they are setting, and even the government is helping to set up cold chain facilities and pack houses, or it may be storage facilities for agricultural commodities and value addition facilities. So government is also supporting to develop required infrastructures, right? So retailing is another important business. You can see recently this Adani Group has coming into this retail business. They are procuring from the farmers and they are transporting and distributing toward the entire country. So you would have heard about this Kisan Rail, which means a complete roadways, a complete road transportation system based on a right train is about to come up for transporting agricultural commodities throughout India. So once it is done, there won't be the price variation for among the different commodities throughout India will be very much less. So the only reason behind the increase in price for commodities among different um, states, no, is transportation cost. So Indian government is trying to reduce the transportation cost for agricultural commodities throughout the country. So whoever cultivate the apple which is cultivated in Kashmir can be retailed in Tamil Nadu with minimum transportation cost. So that is the ideology behind this Kisan Rail, and there are there are other supports also from government of India to start up. I will come to that in later slides. And there is opportunities in nutraceuticals and agri value chain, development of agri value chain, supply chain management, and now this Internet of Things, the information communication technology in case of agriculture and food processing is also growing every day, and the role of artificial intelligence in case of agriculture production and processing is also growing every day. So these are some of the thrust area. If you are able to find a particular a small segment in any one of these thrust area, no, that may be a that may be an interesting area for starting up a new business. Now, the opportunities in food industry, this foods and vegetable industries. As I said in the previous slide, almost 256 million tons is produced every year, and then we are number one in banana, papaya, and mango, most of the tropical fruits. And the thing is, there is a wide opening of international market. So there is a wide open international markets available for fruits and vegetable particularly. And the only thing is we have to process or minimally process it, or minimal processing in the sense just cleaning and packing, grading into a right category, right ripen stages, and packing into a retail packing, and then shipping it to European countries, Middle East, Singapore, Japan. So these are some of the wide open market for fresh fruits and vegetables. So nearly 4.6 to 15% of fruits and vegetables which produced annually is wasted, right, during somewhere in the post-harvest stages. So if you're able to generate a linkage between an export market and and agriculture producer, so if you purchase from the producers and export it to a vendor in and abroad, you can generate a lot of revenue in that. So hence there is a lot of opportunities in post-harvest, logistic, processing sector, including food safety segments, right? There are plenty of opportunities in case of value addition, or as such retailing, and as such logistic, or by providing a logistic for this producers as well as the vendors. So there is a huge opportunities in case of export market as well as in case of local markets as well. So the opportunities in dairy sector, we are one of the leading producer of dairy milk, and we are expected to reach 190 million tons, million metric tons by 2022, while the demand for projected is to reach to 200 million metric tons. So there is a huge hope for value addition, production of ghee, flavored milk, yogurt, butter, or cheese, or aged cheese, and then again the new concept of probiotic. So that is probiotic is coming into this dairy sector. So developing a probiotic food or nutraceutical food materials based on dairy is a growing opportunities. So there are plenty of opportunities, uh, which is especially in case of dairy sector. There are there are a lot of opportunities for us small players. So the bigger companies, bigger manufacturers like Hudson Agro and other bigger players, they have a well-established market. So they have well-established product as well. But in case there is a huge demand for new product, so the new product and the experiment of making a new product and testing its market can be done only by a small industries. So probiotic, we have probiotic ice creams coming up, probiotic drink, probiotic dairy product, and most of the and more fermented products. So there are a lot of opportunities in case of dairy sectors, and then there is a need for innovative packaging, cold chain, new technology, and new product to be developed in case of dairy sector. If you're able to pinpoint a particular new product and develop a new product in dairy sector, you can thrive this market. And then opportunities in food poultry sector. Again, poultry is one of the important sector. Um, there is a only 6% of poultry which is produced, poultry egg which is produced is processed. And you can see there is from Namakal. There is no, I think there is no need to tell exactly what is the production capacity of Namakal. You may be knowing about the production going around you. So there are a lot of new technologies coming up in this poultry farming. The production is increasing day by day, and you can see the recent news. No, the Qatar football due to football World Cup, there is a huge increase in the export of eggs from Namakal to Qatar, right? So always there is a market. Only thing is we have to equip ourselves to sustain in the market. So they need a good quality egg. They need a they need a good quality egg. They need a pre-processed, maybe sorted or size graded. So such kind of value addition can be done even in the egg, and then processed egg products like egg powder. So the egg powder plants are very less in Namakkal region. So only few industries produce egg powders and export to this export market. So there is a huge demand for these egg powders in case of confectionery industries as a raw material, in case of other food industries. So there is a scope for new feed formulation in case to uh, increase the production. And modern hatcheries, there are opportunities in modern hatcheries. There are always chances of there are a lot of poultry processing. You would have seen this recently a startup which provide a processed meat, ready to cook processed meat, right? Licutious, the name is Licutious, which produce um, um, ready to cook or ready to fry um, poultry meat. So it's a huge success in the recent market. So even though there is we have a well established setup for consuming meat or retailing the poultry meat, but they succeeded in that because they followed a new technology, new packaging. So like our Tetra Pak now already with the pre-mixed, if when you are providing it as a ready to serve or ready to eat food material or ready to cook food materials, that itself provide a huge opportunities for value addition. So that is what I'm trying to say. This is one of the another important sector where we can expect a lot of startups. And now the cold chain. So there are plenty of opportunities in cold chain. If you are a cold chain solution provider, there are a lot of scope for for success in this cold chain field. So that because we produce more than 400 million tons of perishable every year. But the cold chain capacity of India is only 31.8 million tons. So it is very, very less when compared to the total production. So there are huge scope for cold chain service providers or cold chain facility infrastructure development. And then most of the cold chain which is in our country are segregated are are, uh, uh, are provided only in 3 or 4 major states. So other states, so the cold chain opportunities in other states where they produce more agriculture is very huge. And then industry is it's a largely fragmented and unorganized industries. If you are able to organize it, convert into an organized sector, retailing the agricultural commodity with the cold chain, that will be a bigger business opportunities. So 92% of cold stores are owned by private sectors, and there is a large capacity in cold storage, CA storage, ripening chambers, reefers, export reefers, or milk chilling unit or processing unit. As such, providing a cold chain solution to agriculture commodity itself a bigger business. And then now put together all this food processing for whatever we have discussed so far. The food processing opportunities can be divided into 2 categories. One is infrastructure and technology provider in processor, right? So new technology for fruits and vegetable processing like cold chain or reefer or quick freezing houses, pack houses or ripening chambers. These are some of the service providers which produce infrastructures and provide service to this consumers. And then new packaging technology or production of packaging materials or environmental friendly packaging materials, retaining the packaging materials which has releasing properties or this antimicrobial property or active packaging materials, manufacturing of active packaging materials or oxygen absorbing, ethylene absorbing packaging materials. So these are some of the scopes in case of packaging materials. And modern storage facilities and logistic facilities and energy efficient technologies. There is always a need for energy efficient and processing technology which consume less resources like water, or it may be a less energy in case of steam, or in case of other resources. There is always chance for producing a high energy efficient technology, and then setting up a food testing laboratory, R&D infrastructures. So these are some of the infrastructures related startup opportunities. And then processing related new products. So already the market is flooded with a lot of processed food materials. Every day there is a new product launched in Indian market by the reputed manufacturers, right? So we know Britannia is a very well established manufacturers, but they are launching new products every day according to the need, according to the consumer mindset. So initially there was no concept of millet in cookies, but now each and every company, even every biscuit manufacturing companies is launching a millet based cookie, right? So there is a need for a new product at every time according to the consumer mind change. So initially no one preferred um, um, organic oil, or no one is preferred this cold press oil. So everyone preferred refined oil, but the consumer mindset is shifted from this refined oil to organic or cold press oils, unprocessed or unfiltered or this unrefined oils. So as the consumer mindset changes, now there is a need for a new product is developing every day. So there is a need for new product, fortified, health conscious product like nutraceuticals, health foods. Mostly there are the Indian new product industries is targeting replacing the traditional food materials with the new technologies. Like initially there was a um, millet, we consume the millet in each and every recipes. Now same, the modern food processing industry is trying to imitate the same traditional products in case of modern industries. And then convenience food like ready to eat, ready to cook, or ready to consume food materials. So there is a need. So people want to go grab their food on hand when they are running to office. So there is a need for development of convenience food like the Nutri bar, the yoga bar. And recently would have seen the advertisement related to multi-grain Nutri bar. So Nutri Bar breakfast bar. So there are so many names which they give for a new product. So people want to grab the food on the go and consume it. So and then you would have seen about uh, ready to eat food materials. So immediately microwave it, consume it. So such kind of food materials, the opportunities for such kind of food materials is more in kind of in the market. And processed organic food materials, especially for baby food, especially for sportsman food, consume confectionery and bakery related food materials. There is always a demand in local domestic market as well as an increase in overseas markets as well. And the new product development in case of beverages, um, the market is shifting towards the traditional beverages instead of carbonated beverages. Now market is tradition shifting to natural drink, right? Natural drink, health drink, or the drink which resembles a natural fruit juice. So you would have seen the Tropicana fruit juice, minimally or no preservative fruit juices. So there are sportsman drink. These things are coming up, including probiotic. And then packed local food drinks like nimbu pani, coconut water, packing of coconut water. And then if you see packing of this Nira, so these are coming up recently in case of a new product. And then millet based food products is always in focus, right? Is in recent decades the millet based food product, millet based breakfast, millet based puffed product, millet based a lot of products are coming up. And I'm in a committee where we formulate standard for this millet based new products. So I just want to give some information about this millet based products. It's growing like uh, it's growing more and more in every day. The need for millet and millet based food products is growing. And then the world is shifting towards millet based food material. You can say due to this we are about to celebrate millet year in 2023. So Indian government is in a process of promoting this millet throughout the world. So the need for millet and millet based products is going to boom in the next decade. So if you have a startup idea in millet based products now, that will be a blooming sector in near future. And then nutraceuticals in the sense, no one are ready to consume. There are a lot of controversies in consuming medicine as such. If you are replacing the medicines by a food material which provides an equal ability to increase the immunity or to suppress some kind of chronic diseases, note that is another blooming sector with nutraceuticals. Now we are in the core topic of the today's presentation, startup, right? So we have discussed so far what are the opportunities and what are the things related to different sectors in food industries. Now startup is nothing. It is a new emerged business venture that aims to develop a business model, a viable business model to meet the marketplace need and problem. So that is what we call as startup. That is a new venture which is trying to develop a viable business model. Right? Who are startups? So the companies which is 7 years from the date of registration are called as startups. And then in case of biotechnology and medical field, it is 10 years. But in case of food industries or food sectors, it is 7 years. And then incorporate, either it may be a private limited, registered as a private limited company or partnership form or limited liability partnership. So all this category will comes under startup. And then it should not be an existing business, or it should not be a reconstruction or leveling up or scaling up of an existing business. And then the turnover should be less than 25 crore financial in the financial year, and it should work towards innovation, development, and improvement of the product, which is product or services which the company is providing. So that is what we call it as startup, right? So now the phases in startup. So it all starts with an idea generation. Like we can separate the startup phases into three different phases. One is formation, validation, growth. So under this validation, under this formulation, we can see generating an idea. If you have a spark of idea, so that will remain as a spark one until you are concepting the idea, right? For example, if there is an idea, if you are If you come across an idea today, right? For example, if you want to pack a probiotic millet drink, right? You can like our traditional traditional drink. We have this kamangur or ragi gur. So you have an idea to pack it in a tetra pack, or you have idea to pack it as a probiotic health drink, or a sportsman drink, or a nutritional rich health food to the consumers. So you want to deliver that to a consumer as a health food or as a nutraceutical food materials. So that is an idea. So if you are that is an idea which is generated in your mind. So you have to convert that idea into a concept, like how to manufacture the particular product. So how long will be the shelf life? What are the technology we have to incorporate to increase the shelf life? Whether we should go for a preservatives, or whether we should go for a thermal process, or whether we should go for another fermentation process. What will be the shelf life in the market? So what are the equipment needed for manufacturing that product? So what is the market opportunities? Like from an idea, it has to be converted into a concept, and then from concept. So these are the two stages in the formation, right? We should generate an idea. From that idea, we should discuss with others, or we should discuss with the resource persons, or we should discuss with the incubation companies or incubation agencies, and then convert into a concept. And from concept, then it comes to the validation stage, where small scale industries or a small production unit can be set up, or an already existing facilities can be used for manufacturing a small quantity of a small lot of your product, and take it to the market, study the market. If it behaves well in the market, go for scaling up. So, and then like idea generating, concepting, committing, validating the ideas which you generate, which validating in a sense, testing the market. And then once it works well in the market, go to scale up and establish the industries. So this is the steps involved in startup. These are the steps involved in startup. So as we discussed with an example of a new product or an existing product with a new name, right? Idea. So first is a product, a big. So first of all, idea or a spark which is generated related to a product. So there are, as I said, there are new. Always there is a chance of a new product in every field. So poultry processing is an already well-established field, but recently this retailing this meat as a ready-to-eat or ready-to-cook food material with the value addition, right? That is also a new idea. Like you would have seen about this idli batter, ID idli batter, that is very popular in South India, right? So their idea is to just retail this idli batter, which is already an existing model of business, right? But they have taken it to another level by incorporating new packaging technologies or new cold chain process. So that is a that kind of idea has to be, either it may be a product, delivering a product, or it may be providing a service, right? So if you have an idea, that idea has to be discussed with one or more persons, and you should form a team. But initially the team will not be having any confidence and any commitment at the right at the during the ideating stage. So probably if you have an idea, or thinking about a particular product, launching a particular product, you will be in an ideating stage right now. And then concepting. So we have to concept that idea into a mission, right? You should set a goal. You should set a goal. You can add 2 or 3 more members or 2 more skilled persons into the team, and you can create what are the equipment needed, what are the facilities needed, where the facilities are available initially to avail. So all these things. And at this concepting stage, you need, as a startup, you need a help from incubation centers. So there are a lot of incubation centers in and around. Like even TNIU has a business incubation center, and NIFTAM Tanjore has an incubation center, and most of the private institutions know they have an incubation center. Probably you probably, I'm not sure, maybe in your institute you may have an incubation center. So most of the institutions are set up with, or they are having an incubation center where the students or the graduates can enroll them as an incubatee and for a few years until they call it as a startup, until 7 years, and then they generate from the idea. They can concept the idea, they can validate the idea, they can test the market, and they can launch it from there. So that is an idea of these incubation centers. So at this concepting stage, we need a a technical support from a skilled person, or technical support from incubation centers, and then committing. So at this committing stage, we need a skilled, balanced founding team, or we have to set a mission. And at this place, there is a need for um, there is a need for financial support. So if you have an initial financial support, that is well and good, or else you will be in a need of a venture capital, or an investor to come in into a team at this stage, and then validating a setting. So at committing stage, we need a financial support to produce and test the market. During validating process, we validate the performance of product in the market using some key performance indicators, like how many units have been sold in a particular area, or particular region, or particular time. So that kind of testing and assumption of your product. So that this validating stages, you should have a product in your hand which is produced with the help of an incubation center or already existing facilities. So you won't be farming your own facilities at this stage. You have to avail of facilities, manufacturing facilities from someone else, or from some institution, or some government agencies. You produce your commodity, or you produce your product, and then test it in the market, right? So that is validating stage. From validating, focus on this key performance indicators. If it performs well in the market, like there is a very good demand for a market, when this very good demand for a particular product in the market, right? So for example, the same product you can take, if you are talking about this probiotic millet drink, if it performs well in the market, now probably you can take this to a further step. You should register as a company in startup companies, or Startup India. There are Startup Mintra. There are a lot of schemes, government scheme. You have to register there. So most of the schemes will provide 50% subsidies, or interest-free loans, or you can go with the venture capital schemes, or angel investors, which are available to invest in case of these startups. So there are a lot of people they are ready to invest in this in the startups. So at this scaling up, we need a huge funding, that either it may be from a government agency, or it may be from a private agency. At this stage, for scaling up, or taking your business further, we need a significant funding. So you should attract significant funding, and then at this scaling up stage, we have to hire a lot of skilled persons, or skilled members into our team. This is the scaling up team. And then once it is scaled up, establishing the industry in the market, either establishing the industries financially, marketing, and um, creating a specific market, or with the help of digital marketing. So whoever produced initially, in previous years, initially before 10 years, it was very difficult to reach the consumer. But nowadays, it is very easy to reach the consumers through digital market. Look, for example, if you are starting a new business today, if you want everyone to know about your business, what you are doing, what you are producing, right? Instagram, Facebook, or it may be a Instagram, it may be a YouTube. So wherever there are in the social media, so there are plenty of opportunities related to business marketing. This digital marketing itself a bigger venture. So there are companies which provide digital marketing facilities for the startups, or the startup itself, as they are very much aware of this social platform, as this new generation is very much aware of this social platform. They itself do a digital marketing for their company. So that is a very big advantage of establishing an industry, or taking this new startup to the consumers. Now, so these are the different phases we have discussed with an example. Now, what are the skill set which is needed for the entrepreneurship? How long we have, ma'am? Excuse me, how long we have? Up to what time I can present? Is there any time restriction? Hello, am I audible?
Sir, you're audible, sir. You can continue the program, sir.
Okay, madam. If there is any time restrictions, please let me know.
No, you can continue, sir.
Yeah, I think it
Yes,
is
sir.
going well. Now, so we have discussed what is startup, what are the different stages in the startup. Now, what are the skill sets needed for an entrepreneur to start a new business or a new startup? So the technical skills, as you are a food technologist, you'll be having the basic science, food science knowledge, how to produce a product or how to manufacture the product development, idea about product development and production, optimizing the process parameters, parameters with raw materials and limited resources, and then quality management skills, ISO knowledge about HACCP, understanding the national and international food laws. Either it may be Codex or it may be FSSAI. I think I is missing here. FSSAI, Codex, and then international food laws. Where it may be if you're exporting to Arab countries, you need a halal certification knowledge about the product. These are some of the technical skills which is needed for a startup who are the food graduate who are looking for a startup in food industries. And then the entrepreneurs need to survive in the market. So there are certain skills. So these are certain skills which basically a food graduate will have, a food technologist will have. He will have a knowledge about food science, product development, or product process, or quality management, or quality testing, or knowledge about food laws. You are expected to have knowledge about all these things. But the knowledge or the skills which you have to have in addition to these basics, business and marketing skills, communication skills, business plan, marketing, market research, digital marketing, like it may be a soft skill. Like, so initially this video editing and then making a meme for your product to reach your consumer in a faster way, right? So these are some of the skills which is needed for a new entrepreneur in case of to increase in the demand in digital market, right? So the thing is, this video editing and computer skills are coming under the soft skills nowadays. So you should be have as you expected to have a communication skill, you should have a knowledge to communicate through a business through the digital media as well. Communication skill is not only communicating with others. Communicating skill is how you are communicating in the digital media. So this kind of skills are needed for entrepreneurs. So basically, business plan about investment, calculating the payback period, business plan. So all these skills are very much needed in case of entrepreneurs or budding entrepreneurs. And then the critical success factors which are responsible for this entrepreneurs or a new startup, right? Trainings received. So you cannot step into a business directly as such with a limited knowledge. There are agencies, there are government sectors which conducts training. So we have to undergo adequate training, which is required, should develop required to develop the skills for a startup, and approaches followed to sell product and services. What are the approaches you are going to adapt for selling the particular product in the market? Frequency of sales achieved in the beginning, like in the first year, what is your sale? In the second year, what is the sale? Third year, what is the sales? Or in the month wise. So frequency of sales achieved in each and every time frame, like in the relationship with these competitors. So if you are stepping into a business, you are not going to step alone. There will be a lot of companies already making such a product in the market, or marketing such a product in your area. So you should have a very good relationship with these companies, the computers, the healthy relationship with the computers, which always helps in growing the business. And then the leadership, what kind of leadership styles you are adapting for your company. And then expert advice, how far you are listening to an expert advice, how far you are taking. One cannot be expert at all the field. You may be expert at food industry or food process. one may be expert in financial advice. So you should ready to take the financial advice from the experts. And then in factors of success. So what are the factors which are going to decide the success? And then knowledge, updation, and development of knowledge about digital marketing and multiple language skills. So these are some of the critical success factors which are responsible for creating a successful startup. Right. So this critical success factors I have listed here: market knowledge, adequate expectations about the product, friendly relationship with this related industries, expert advice, participating in the leadership, what kind of leadership you are for adapting, multilingual skills, digital marketing skills, skills about quality product, providing a quality service to the consumers, good customer service, and business knowledge. So these are some of the key success factors one should have for a successful startup. And then along with this entrepreneurs, this stages, with the different stages of startup we have discussed, along with this entrepreneurship process, you should incorporate these critical success factors which we have discussed so far to make a successful startup, right? And then these are some of the advice which I usually provide to the startup graduates. So promote small business initially. Don't invest more in the business. Try to avoid investment in the previous steps, like in the idea generating, validating, up to validating. No, you should not invest more. You should rely on government agencies like incubation centers. So by a minimal incubation charge of 10,000 rupees per year or 20,000 rupees per year, no, you should be able to do all these steps until the validating. Like conduct a SWOT analysis about your product. Once you analyze the product in market, once you validate the product in market, so trial run, we call it as a trial run or a trial market study. So you should have a product, you should market it first, and you should know what are the advantage. Right? You should make a SWOT analysis at that particular stage, strength, weakness, opportunities, right? And then innovation is needed at that particular point. So there may be a lot of weakness. Your product may not be stored for a longer period of time in the market, or product cannot be marketed beyond certain distance. So there will be a lot of weakness. So how to overcome those weakness? By adding some innovative ideas into the product. Like invest, and then once you know that your particular product is performing well in the market, that is the time for adequate investment. So you should be courage enough to get a loan, or you should be courage enough to get a financial support from an investor and invest it in your company, in your firm, right? Then strengthen the infrastructure facilities. You should be, once you have adequate financial support, now you should strengthen your infrastructure facilities. And then so these are the stages, initial stages. So you should not think about investing more in your company. That if you perform a well-established research about your product in the market, you know that your product going to be perform well in the market. You should invest immediately. You should strengthen your infrastructure facilities. That decision-making skill, proper decision-making skill, is very much essential. You should take a right decision at the right time. So if you know that product will perform well, but if you are not ready to invest, you are not ready to take the risk, then someone else will take the risk. Someone else with the same idea will come into the market. So we should make a proper decision at the proper time, right? And then the market knowledge, how to market the particular product in the market through the digital media, forum, advertising in the various stall, advertising your product, or taking your product for abroad or international markets. So at the right time, you should step into an international market as well. And then give importance to critical success factors. So critical factors which we discussed here, this critical success factor. So we should give more importance to this critical success factor: hard work, dedication, quality service, quality product. So these are the advice which I give for entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs. So if you have all these skills, or if you are able to provide all these points, or if you are able to fulfill all these points, definitely you can step into a startup. Now, what are the schemes available under Indian government for food processing startup? The first one is Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampat Yojana. So you would have heard about this. This is related to farming, more related to farming or contract farming. And then Mega Food Park Scheme. The Indian government have they have identified certain areas, certain region where they have provided where they can develop a mega food parks. They have identified 42 such areas, and already 14 to 15 are already in existence now. They have already established there, which means the food parks, it's a cluster of small scale food business. They have a common facilities like effluent treatment, or it may be a raw material supply, or it may be a refrigeration facility, or maybe a cold storage facilities needed for a set of food industries, or it may be a steam source, or it may be a steam supply, or it may be an electrical supply, or it may be a supply of water, softened water. So there will be a common service provided for all these things, and you can go there. No need to worry about the other allied facilities. It will be already existing there. You have to set up processing plant in such an area. It will be easy for you to manufacture. So that is the idea behind this mega food park scheme for cold chain and value addition, preservation, and infrastructure development is under Ministry of Food Processing. Modernization schemes, that is under Making India, Food Processing Fund through NABARD, Startup India, Agro Processing Cluster Scheme. I will come to the Startup India. That is more related to our topic today. Agro Processing Cluster Scheme. This cluster scheme is in a particular region. There may be a production of more production of particular commodity. For example, if you take Namakkal, you can see production of egg, more production of egg. And if you see Dharmaburi region, you have more production of mango. And if you see any other part of India, if you can see Kashmir, there is a more production of apple and the saffron. So forming a cluster among these producers, and they go for processing and value addition of particular commodity in the particular region. So forming a cluster of farmers or cluster of vendors together, and then processing. They are starting a processing and value addition activities. That is what agro processing cluster schemes. MSME business loans, which is already existing. Micro unit development and Mudra, that is a micro unit development. So smaller units for the loan for smaller unit under Mudra loan. Credit guarantee fund scheme for micro small entrepreneurships. Small national small industry corporation subsidies available. Credit linked capital subsidy schemes and technology upgradation. So already if you have a technology, if you want to scale up the technology, so this credit link subsidy loans are available under Startup India. You can see I have given a website link, Startup Mantra, and then MOFPI schemes link and the Startup India links. I just want to take it to one of this website. I'm not going to take every website. I think my screen is visible. So this is Startup India, the portal for Startup India. You can go if you have a business idea. You can register here. If you click this register, it will take you some. You need a mail ID and username password, or you can sign in through a Gmail as well. Once you register in this startup, there are a lot of schemes available. I will take you to the schemes which is available for a startup. Just give me a minute. Yeah, schemes. So there are some government schemes under this Startup India. So there are a lot of schemes. Let me show you some of that. This venture capital schemes. This venture capital which provides financial assistance to the startups and support for international patent. So that is something different. Stand Stand Up India. This is for a 10 lakh bank loan, 10 lakh to 1 crore with for startups with Stand Up India. And then the yes, these are some of the research projects, schemes for research projects. Then, so this is a dairy entrepreneurship development scheme. So this is a particular scheme by NABARD for developing small scale dairy business. And then we have biotechnology, so that is a different one. So there are a lot of schemes, small business innovation research schemes, which is BIRAC, which is it is kind of research as well as a business development. And then 4E, end-to-end energy efficiency. This is for energy providing energy solutions for the industries. Um, so Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana. So this is what I'm telling. A loan for micro unit, micro and small entrepreneurship. So we can register under these schemes also. There are loans as well as subsidies available. So similarly, you can see there are 124 schemes which is available. You will be definitely fitting into some of this. There is a scheme for women. There is a scheme for graduates, food technologists as well, and then self-employment schemes are there, and then technology development programs are there. And then if you are looking for some business related to a coir or a coconut coir, there is a separate schemes under this particular thing. And similarly, raw material assistance schemes. Um, and then so National Award of Individual MSME. So these are some of the schemes which is available. So go through this. This is what I'm trying to self-employment and talent utilization. So and then micro exporters. So if you are looking for an export business, you can get a loan under this or a subsidy under this. Small exporters. This is goes well with this export of small agriculture commodities, right? And then self-employment. If you have a talent, that is you are a food technologist, right? So if you have a food technology idea, business idea related to food technology, you can go for this scheme. um, yeah, so there are a lot of schemes: export development, promotions of spices. So like fruits and vegetable, there are a scheme from APIDA. So there are so much of schemes. This site will provide, this startup site will provide you most of the schemes which is available for startups. And then here there are a lot of resources. Here in this website now they have given a lot of information about how to develop a business, how to go for a business idea, everything. So go through this site once. I think we'll go back to the presentation. So these are about business and business plans. Let me have a small break of 2 minutes, and then we'll go for this job opportunities. Okay, is it okay? Is it okay? Just give me a break for 2 minutes. I'll be back. Is it okay?
Okay, sir.
Yes, madam. Shall we start? Thank you
Yes,
for
sir.
giving me a break. Yeah. So far we have discussed about the opportunities in startup, that is entrepreneurship opportunities. Now, job opportunities in private sectors. I will try to complete my presentation in another 10, 15 minutes, 10 minutes. So just listen to me. Type of companies with there are a lot of private sectors which provide job opportunities for food technologies, right? So there are different types of companies, and they expect different types of skill sets for hiring you. So there are corporate food manufacturing companies like Nestle. There are more reputed companies, ITC. There are corporate food manufacturing companies. Those are in need of food technologists. Their skill is their requirement is you should be able to take care of either the quality or production, right? And then so that is one of the opportunities. Private food research laboratories are there where they have a food quality control laboratories, that there is a job for in private sector. And then the food quality and certification organizations like HACCP certification, or if there are companies which provide certification uh, consultancy services, there is the job opportunities for food technologists. And food packaging companies, like they are manufactured food packaging materials, and then food manufacturing machineries in and instrumentation companies. So I was in touch with another this food machinery manufacturing. There is a very big need for food technologists. Usually they hire mechanical engineers for designing the machineries, but now they are looking for food technologists. So if you have a adequate knowledge about designing or machine designing, definitely you can get into such a job. And then flavor houses, like they provide extraction, nutraceuticals and flavor houses. And then agricultural commodity export ventures. There are ventures where they procure agricultural commodity and export agricultural commodities. So there are there is a need. Like, so I said no, this Adani Foods and then Reliance Food, they are coming into this retail sectors. They procure from the farmers and then they retail it in a different cities, right? So they need procurement officers, they need food technologies to test their food or to evaluate the commodities which they are procuring at each and every stage. So there is a huge opportunities for food technologies in such sectors. So these are some of the opportunities, types of opportunities. And the role which you will be undertaking in private sectors will be the following. As a food technologist, you will be either employed as a food production executive or production officer, or operation technical officer for production, for taking care of the production of food materials, or quality control or quality assurance and food safety jobs. So these are the roles which you will be fitting into in an industry. And again, R&D, this is another area where you have a very good opportunities. So if you have adequate knowledge about product development and new product development, so this new product development and process development as an R&D officer or an R&D expert in an industry. And then marketing and sales, business development and market analysis. And if you have an adequate knowledge about marketing or giving a marketing solutions, you can fit into a marketing role as well, right? And then procurement and supply chain management officer. So in case of these bigger players where they procure more from agricultural farm producers and retail it in the uh, retailing market. So procurement and supply chain management officers, these are some of the role a food technologists can fit into in a private sector, right? And then what are the skill sets which you have to develop for securing such a job in food industries? Nowadays, food industries expect their candidate or food graduate to be well versed with softwares, right? So whatever job you may be enrolled or you may be hired for, either a production or it may be a quality controller. So you should be in a position to solve their problems using computer skills, software skills like enterprise resource planning, ERP software. So ERP softwares are available. So you should be well versed with these ERP softwares for production if you are enrolled in a production process. And then farm management software. If you are in product procurement and distribution or supply chain, you should be having a software knowledge. There are a lot of software providers, farm management software providers, farm ERPs, farm AgriWorld, AgriWeb. So there are a lot of softwares. You should be well aware of these softwares. And food safety quality management softwares, QMS. So you should be having a knowledge about, even if you are appearing for an interview, they should you they expect you to have knowledge about all these softwares. And then certificate process. So FSSA, ISO, FSSAI, HACCP certification. So all these certification process, no, food safety system certification, food safety management system, hazard analysis, critical control point system, and then in addition to these computer skills, you should have a strong communication skills. Uh, 5 years in food industry, SOT. So these are some 5 years knowledge, basic computer knowledge. So these are some of the skill set which is required for a food industry to hire you. So they expect this kind of skill sets in you when they are looking, when they are hiring you. So if you are going for a job interview in the food industries, you can expect question from these things. So these are the key areas where they expect you to have a sufficient knowledge. And as a scope for food technologies in India is growing. The scope for food technologies in India are growing. Initially, the food technology jobs are done by mechanical engineers, and then just give me a minute. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Excuse me, just give me a minute. Sorry for the interruption. Am I audible now?
Audible,
Hello?
sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So, as I said, the scope for food technologies is growing. So initially, the chemical engineers and mechanical engineers are enrolled in such jobs. So now these food processing industries are well aware of food technology graduates and their skill sets. So they are very much interested to hire food technologists for their production process or quality control process. So there are some of the top recruiters, those who recruit food technologists every year. This MTR Foods. This is very some of the list which is very familiar to us. Amul, Dabur, PepsiCo, Britannia, Nestle, ITC, Parley Agro, Agrotech Foods, ITC, Cadbury India, Hindustan Liver, and then milk food like milk food, Hudson Agro, or it may be like Kevin Care, So these are some of the reputed industries in South. Those who are recruit food technologists every year, every consecutive years or every years. Nestle India, Godrej Limited. So these are some of the companies which are looking for food technologists. And if you have the above skill sets, so this is software certification and communication skill sets, definitely you can secure a job in this reputed industries. And then job opportunities for in government sector. So as a food technologist, you have to enroll yourself into a competitive exam to secure a government job. So there are certain jobs available where only food technologists can be enrolled or only food technologists can take. So recently we had a Food Safety Standard Authority of India exam. So they have recruited a bulk number of food technologists for food safety jobs. FSSAI is hiring every year. FCI is hiring every year. They have advertisement for recruitment, and they have certain FSSAI have separate exam. Food Corporation of India has a separate exam. BIS recruit the food technologists, and then milk producers cooperative society. Like in case of in Tamil Nadu, we have Avin. So Avin recruit food technologists, and then state and central food laboratories. So they recruit food technologists, and then state government jobs such as food safety officer and food inspectors. So this is through group 2 or group 1. You can enroll through take an exam through group 1 or group 2, and you can secure a job in this. And then DFRL, Defense Food Research Laboratory, there is an opportunities. And then NABARD, as a in a banking sector, as a food technologist, there is opportunities in banking sector as well. And then Agricultural Produce Export Development Authority, APIDA, is also providing job for food technologists. MPIDA, that is Marine Product Export Development Authority, and then National Agricultural Cooperative Marketing Federation of India. So that is also providing opportunities for food technologists. Ministry of Agriculture, in Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Ministry of Food Processing Industries. So they usually recruit apart from undergraduate, they look for postgraduates and PhD candidates. And then ICR, CFTRI, State Agriculture Universities, or this question KVKs, DFRL, NIFTM. So there are a lot of institute where we have scientist post as well as assistant professor post for postgraduate and PhD doctoral fellows in this particular area. And higher studies opportunities. So these higher studies opportunities can be seen in two ways. One is higher studies in abroad, higher studies in India. So for higher studies in abroad, countries like US, Canada, Australia, UK, France, New Zealand, Germany, China, and Korea are these are the countries where a lot of opportunities for food related courses. Like, so you should appear GMAT or GRE exams for your technical score, and then you need English testing your English skills, IELTS or PTE or TOEFL to test your English knowledge. And then if you have an adequate score in GRE as well as this English proficiency in IELTS and TOEFL, definitely you can secure a master degree course with fellowship. So whatever I'm giving here are courses with fellowships. They offer, if you have a very good GRE score, they definitely going to offer you fellowships. And again, in addition to this institute fellowships, there are a lot of agencies which provides, even Indian government provide scholarships for you to study abroad based on your GRE scores, right? There are certain courses. Well, there are some reputed courses like Master of Science, MS in Food Safety, Hygiene and Management, MS in Food Science and Nutrition, MS in Food Science and Technology, Diploma in Food Science, MSc in Food Production Management. And these are some of the most prestigious institutes or universities overseas where you have courses related to food and food allied courses. Food and nutrition courses are available. University of Queensland, University of Leeds, Cornell University, University of Guelph in Canada, McGill in Alberta, University of Auckland, in New Zealand, and University of Singapore, University of Korea, Korean universities, AIT, Asian Institute of Technology, University of Minnesota, University of Minnesota, Minnesota and Manitoba. So these South Dakota and Saskatchewan universities, they have reputed courses. If you want more information about your admission process and admission process, you can have a look into their website. You can get more information. And then higher studies opportunities in India. As a food technologist, you can enroll yourself into a PG degree program in any state agriculture universities or central universities, say Pondicherry universities, which is nearby, have a food technology related courses or food science related courses. So state and central universities, and then ICR institutions, NITs and IIT. If you have a GATE score, you can step into an NIT and IIT. So that is NIT Rourkela and IIT Kharagpur. They have a food technology courses. And then apart from that, if you have a very good GATE score, you can get into a CFTRI, this SLIT, that is linked to Longawal Institute of Engineering and Technology. So these are some of the premier institutes which is available for food technologists and food technology related courses. You can see NIFTM and IAPM, Institute of Indian Institute of Plantation Crop Management. This is a kind of business course, a business oriented courses. Even NIFTM provides such a business, agricultural, business oriented courses are there. Right. So NIFTM Tanjavur and NIFTM Haryana, they provided courses for food technologists. And HPTI and National Institute of Nutrition and Food and Drug Toxicology Research Center, they offer courses related to food technology. ISET, Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research, they provide food technology courses. National Agri-Food Biotechnology Institute. So there are other private institutions like private institutions. There are a lot of private institutions which provide very good opportunity for higher studies in India. Most of this institute, they have their own recruitment, hiring process or admission process. So you should be aware of all this admission process. They have a separate application. You have to drop a separate application for each and every institute. And the basic thing is you should have a GATE score. If you have I think you are third year and second year people. If you are preparing right from now for GATE exams or whatever, the syllabus will be same as that of what your curriculum is. So concentrate a little bit more related to GATE or GATE oriented questions or GATE oriented syllabus. You can easily clear GATE after graduating. So once you have a valid GATE score, definitely this institute will provide admissions, right? And then ICR system, they have conducted their own ICR JRF exam. If you able to clear that ICR JRF exam, then definitely you can get into a state agriculture university. And then some food technologists prefer MBA or MBA related courses. So I suggest them to take this CAT exam or MAT exam, and then they can get into IIM. So that will be another opportunities. And then NIFTM Tanjavur and NIFTM Haryana, and then IAPM, they provide food technology plus business management courses, right? So that those who are interested to start your own industry or start your own startup, you can enroll yourself into some management courses, food technology plus management. The courses will be framed in such a way that you develop a knowledge in food technology as well as entrepreneurship and business management, right? So NIFTM provide an agribusiness, food technology and agribusiness courses. So you can enroll there and gain required knowledge about food business, and then it is better to come into this food business and start up, right? So that's all from my side. I think I have covered whatever I shown in the content slide, right? I'll go to the content slide and make a recall of whatever we have, recap of whatever we have discussed so far. Just give me a minute. So we have started with the presentation with the importance of food processing industry in India, and we discussed what are the opportunities for food technologists. So I have categorized into 4 different opportunities. One is entrepreneurship opportunities, and then job in government sector, job in private sector, and then higher studies opportunities. So we discussed about the importance of agriculture, and then we discussed about the thrust area of agricultural entrepreneurship, and we discussed something about startup, what are the different stages of startups, and then we discussed something related to the very important about the schemes provided by the Indian government in in case of supporting the startup industries, and we discussed about the job opportunities in private sectors, skill set needed for jobs in private sector, and the higher studies, what are the exams related to the higher studies, what are the institutions which provide opportunities for higher studies for food technologists, right? Thank you so much for listening. I think um, I have provided the information, sufficient information. Um, is there any doubts, or if there is any things has to be discussed with me, you can, the floor is open for discussion. Yes, ma'am. Can you get some feedback or some questions from the audience? Most of the students are second year and third year students, right? So,
Good morning, sir.
good morning, please.
Sir, suggest some books related to food processing and food microbiology, standard books.
Okay. For food microbiology, we used to recommend food biotechnology by author J. If you can able to know, find out a book related, um, um, food book by food technology, or food microbiology by J. So that is the book which you use for author J, which is used for which has basic information about food microbiology, and then food technology for food processing. Another area what you have asked.
Food processing, sir.
Yeah, food processing. Paulsing book, which is one of the important basic books which you used to refer for food technology, introduction to food technology, food processing by Paul Singh. Paul Singh book is one of the basic book, and another advanced food processing by Arthur Gold. Gold, one book, author named Gold. They discussed about novel technologies, non-thermal and thermal technologies, novel processing techniques. So these are the two different books which I recommend personally for undergraduates. The most of the content will be related to the curriculum.
Okay, sir. Books regarding competitive exams like Food Safety Officer, Food Corporation of India.
Mhm.
Suggest books.
Yeah, ma'am. There is a objective type book by Preetham Chandra that used to cover most of the topics related to food technologist. That particular book can be used as a study material for food technology. And then there are a lot of recent books available even in Amazon. There are a lot of books available. Uh, an objective type multiple choice questions by Preetham Chandra. That is a very good book which covers most of the part. And then there are a lot of interesting websites, like you can see ICR course content. ICR course content can be downloaded, right? ICR course content, that is yeah, e-course, I think e-course. Yeah, there is a website for ICAR e-course. So they have materials related to all the courses, food technology courses. And then there is one more, NPTL provides notes related to food technology. NPTL provide like recorded lectures from IITs and NIT faculties. So that will be very much useful for concrete exam preparation and gate exam preparation. And you can recommend those resources, internet resources, to your students.
Thank you so much, sir.
Anything from students, ma'am? Is there anyone? Those who can interact about the presentation, can give some feedback whether it is useful, or which part of the presentation is useful to them. First thing is whether they're able to follow me throughout the presentation.
Yes, sir. We can follow you, sir.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. If there is anything else, we can discuss it right now. Or is anyone from the organizing committee?
Sir, I'm here, sir.
Yes. If
Program
there
was
is,
excellent, sir. And the student was informative based on your traffic informations and higher education details and what are all the institutes they can cope up, and everything is informative, sir, and valuable for all the students. And for they are the budding food technologists from our department, sir. They were final year and pre-final year students, so it is so informative for them, sir.
yeah. Okay,
I would like,
ma'am.
yes, sir. I would like Madhumita to deliver the vote of thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon to everyone present here. I'm M. Madhumita, third year Food Technology. Deem it great honor to propose vote of thanks for this illuminating program. I thank our research person, Mr. V. Anand Prasad, Assistant Professor, Department of Food Technology, National Institute of Technology, Rourkela, Odisha, for handling interesting webinar on Indian food processing industry and opportunities. Thank you, sir, for gracing this occasion to enrich our student skill sets. I register my gratitude to our head of department, Dr. V. Dinesh Kumar, who always guiding us in all endeavors and ready to support us technically for conducting the program successfully. My heartfelt thanks to faculty members for joining us today. Last but not least, I thank all the students participating for attending this beneficial session today. Once again, I thank you, sir, for joining us today and have a great day, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope I have given sufficient information, and you can contact me through your department HOD. And if there is anything required at any time related to food technology or related to food processing or research or any guidance required from my side, I'm ready to provide you. Your HOD is very close friend of mine, and we are always in touch. You can contact me through him, or you can. I have provided my contact information in the slides as well. Thank you so much for the opportunities. I hope I have delivered the lecture with some useful information. If anything is required in future, you can contact me at any time. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Definitely, sir.
Yes, sir. Really the excellent presentation, sir. Thank you for the information, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
See you. Thank you. Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
all.
Thank